Hello everyone, welcome to this follow-along episode of Sudoku. This episode focuses on beginner strategies, so let's go ahead and solve another easy level Sudoku puzzle together. Here we have another episode of a New York Times puzzle. Let's begin with looking at the horizontal blocks and scanning for numbers that appear twice. So we look for the number 1 and there is no number 1. We look for the number 2 and we see a number 2 here and here. So there must be a number 2 in this block here. It can't be in the top row because there's already a 2 here. Can't be in this middle row, so it must be in the bottom row. The only cell for it is here. That's number 2. Number 3 only appears once. Number 4 appears twice. 1, 2, no, number 4 appears 3 times. Number 5 appears twice. In this block, so we need a number 5 here. The only place it can't be in the bottom row. It can't be in the middle row because there's already a 5 here. So the only place a number 5 can be in this block is either in this cell or in this cell. Now it can't be in this cell because there is already a 5 in this column. So the number 5 has to go here. All right, number 6. Number 6 only appears once. Although there are ways to solve even if there's only one number, because we're doing easy mode, let's just look for numbers 1 through 9 that appear twice. Number 7 appears twice here and here. So now this block needs a number 7. It can't obviously go in the top row. It can't go in the middle row. So the number 7 must go in one of these 3 cells. And this time we can't eliminate 2 of the cells. We can eliminate this cell because there is a 7 in this column. But we can't eliminate this cell, so let's put that in candidate mode and put a 7 there and put a 7 over here. All right, number 8 appears twice. Number 8 appears in this block and it appears in this block. So in block 1 we have an 8. In block 3 we have an 8. Top row is taken care of. The middle row is taken care of. So this block must have an 8 in it, and it can only be here in the bottom row. And again, there's nothing in the columns to help us to eliminate that, so we're going to put the candidates 8 and 8. So what that means is in this block, an 8 can go only in one of these 2 cells. It cannot go in either of these cells. Now looking for the number 9 only appears 1 time. Okay, let's move down to the middle rank. Number 1 appears 1 time. Number 2 does not appear. Number 3 appears 1 time. Number 4 appears 1 time. Number 5 appears 1 time. Okay, now we have number 6. Number 6 appears twice, so we can work with the number 6. There's a 6 in this block. There's a 6 in this block. That means there must be a 6 in this block. It cannot be in the top row because there's already a 6 in this row. It cannot be in the bottom row because there's already a 6 in the bottom row. So it must go here, and so we're going to change this to fill mode and put the number 6 there. Okay, number 7 only appears 1 time. Number 8 appears twice here and here. That means we need a number 8 in this block, and it can go in this cell or in this cell. We can't eliminate the cells because there are no 8s in the columns, so let's change this to candidate mode and put a number 8 in this cell and a number 8 in this cell. And then finally, number 9. Number 9 appears twice. We have a 9 in this block. We have a 9 in this block. Now the number 9 has to be in this block. It can't be in the bottom row, and it can't be in the top row, so it must be in the middle row. And it actually can be in any of these 3 cells. So let's put 9, 9, 9. Okay. Now let's move to the bottom rank. We have the number 1 here in this block. We have the number 1 here in the 7th block. And then we have the number 1 here in the 9th block. So this block, the 8th block, has to have a number 1. It can't go in the top row. It can't go in the bottom row. So therefore it has to go in the middle row. There's only 1 cell remaining in the middle row, so it has to go there. Number 2 appears here in this block, the 7th block. It appears here in the 8th block, so it must appear in the 9th block, and it can be in the middle row, right? Because we already have the top row has a 2. The bottom row has a 2, so the middle row needs a 2. In this block in the middle row, we can eliminate only this cell because in this column there's a 2. So let's put this in candidate mode and put a 2 in this block, and put a 2 in this cell, and put a 2 in this cell. Okay, 3 only appears one time, 4 appears 3 times, 5 appears only one time, the number 6, okay, the number 6 appears in block 7, it appears in block 8, so we need a number 6 in block 9, and it can't go in the bottom row, and it can't go in the middle row, so it has to go in the top row here, and it must go in this cell because here in this cell we can see the column already has a 6. So the only place the number 6 can go is in this cell. Number 7 appears in the 9th block and the 8th block, so we need a number 7 here. In the 7th block, it can't go in this cell because there is a 7 here, right? It has to go in the bottom row because the top row already has a 7 and the middle row already has a 7. So it has to go in the bottom row. It cannot go in this cell because there is a 7 in this column. Therefore, this is the only place a 7 can go. And then we have the numbers 8 and 9, and they don't appear at all. Now we've finished scanning the horizontal blocks. And the horizontal blocks are called the ranks. So we've finished scanning the ranks. So now let's work vertically. And let's start looking vertically for the number 1, only appears once. The number 2. Okay, so now the number 2 appears twice. We have a 2 in this block and a 2 in this block. That means there has to be a 2 in this block. Now we're talking vertically. So we have the left column, we have the center column, and we have the right column. So the right column has a 2 already in it. The center column already has a 2. So the only place a 2 can go is in the left column, and it can go either in this cell or in this cell, and it has to go in this block. So let's put that in candidate mode, and we'll put the number 2 in this cell and the number 2 in this cell. Okay, number 3 appears here in this block on the left and here in this block on the right. So therefore the number 3 must appear in the middle in this block. So it must be in the middle column, and it can't be in this cell because there is already a 3 in this row. So the only place a 3 can be is in this cell. So now we have 3 3s in this stack. There's a 3 on the right here, a 3 in the center here, and a 3 on the left here. Okay, we were able to eliminate those columns, the left column and the right column, and narrow it down to just the center column. We knew it had to be in this block because it was missing a 3, and we knew it couldn't go in this cell because there was already a 3 in that row. All right, let's use the same reasoning. For number 4, we already have 3 4s. You can see a 4 on the left, a 4 in the middle, and a 4 on the right. Let's move to number 5. Number 5 we have here in the center column and a number 5 here on the right column. So there has to be a number 5 here on the left column. And this column has to have the number 5, and it must be in this block because this block doesn't have a 5. It can't be in this cell because there's already a 5 in this row. So it can't be in this cell. So the only place it can go is right there. So now we have the 5 in this stack. 3 5s in this stack. How about the number 6? We have a 6 in this block. It's in the center. We have a 6 in this block. It's on the left. There's no 6 in this block, and therefore it must be, we have the left, we have the center, so the number 6 must be on the right. And there are 2 cells remaining on the right. It can't be this cell because there's already a 6 here, so it has to be this cell. All right, number 7, we have a 7 on the left in the first block. We have a 7 on the right in this block, so there must be a 7 in the center, and it has to be in this block here. And the only cell remaining in the center in this block is this one right here, so that has to be the only place a 7 can go. Number 8, we have an 8 here on the left, an 8 here in the center, so there has to be an 8 on the right in this block, and there's only one cell, and that's where it would go. Number 9, there's only one 9. Now we've gone through all the numbers 1 through 9. Now we can do one of 2 things. We can either move on to the next vertical stack, and I'm inclined to do that, or we can go back and say, okay, we just filled in an 8, for example. We just filled in a 7, we just filled in an 8. We can go back to the horizontal blocks and see if it now changes things and gives us more clues. But you know what, instead I'm going to, usually I do that, but instead let's do this methodically. Let's move on to the next stack and see how far we can go with the next stack. Okay, so with the number 1, we have a 1 on the right. All right, that's just 1, 1. So let's move on to the number 2. We have a 2 up here on the left and a 2 over here on the right. That means there's a 2 missing in the center, and it has to be in this block. So there can be a 2 here or a 2 here, and we don't know which one it is, so let's put that in candidate mode. 2 and 2. All right, let's see the number 3. The number 3 appears only one time in this stack. Number 4 appears twice, so let's work with the number 4. We have a 4 here on the left. We have a 4 here in the center, so there has to be a 4 here on the right. Okay, it can be in this cell, or it can be in this cell, and we can't eliminate either of those cells, so I'm going to put it in candidate mode and put a number 4 in each of those cells. There's no way to eliminate it because we didn't have a 4 going across horizontally. Okay, back to working vertically. The number 5 appears here in this block on the left and here in this block in the center. Therefore, we must have the number 5 here in this block. It has to be on the right. It cannot be this cell because there is already a 5 in this row. So the only place a 5 can go on the right-hand side in this block is in this cell. Okay, number 6. Number 6, we have already 3 6s. Number 7, we have 3 7s. Number 8, we don't have any 8s. And number 9, we don't have any 9s. So let's move to the next stack. This is the right stack. And let's work with the numbers 1 through 9. Okay, we have a 1 here in the center, 1 here on the right. That means there has to be a 1 in this block, and it has to be on the left. Now I'm about to put in the 1 here, but look at what we see. We see the number 7 can either be in this cell or in this cell, right? But if now I determine that this cell is a 1, then this cell must be a 7. Okay, so now we have the 7s. 7. We have the 7s horizontally. 7, 7, 7. Okay, so that was from the number 1. Now the number 2 only appears once. 3 doesn't appear. 4 appears twice, so let's work with the 4. We have a 4 down here on the left. We have a 4 up here in the center. Therefore, there must be a 4 on the right in this block, and the only cell on the right in this block is this remaining cell. So that's the number 4. Number 5 only appears once. Okay, number 6. We have a 6 here on the right. We have a 6 here on the left. So there has to be a 6 in the center, and it has to be in this block. So that would be this cell here. And then we have the number 7. We have a 7 on the right, a 7 in the center. So there has to be a 7 on the left, and the only cell for that is here. Okay, number 8. We have an 8 on the left here. We have an 8 here in the center. So there must be an 8 here on the right. It can't be in this cell because there's an 8 already in this row. So the number 8 must be in this cell. And then we have the number 9. Number 9 appears here on the left, appears here on the right. Therefore, the number 9 must appear here in the center. Now, I'm going to put the number 9 there, but remember what we said. If there are 2 numbers that can go in one of 2 cells, and if we eliminate the 2 from this cell, then this cell has to be the number 2. So I'm going to put a 9 here, but I'm also going to put a 2 here. And that's why it's important to put down candidates so that later when one is eliminated, then the other must be the answer. Okay, now actually we can go back to the number 2 now, because now we have 2 2s in this stack. We have a 2 here on the left and a 2 here on the right. That means there's a 2 in the center here. Can we eliminate it horizontally? No, we cannot eliminate it horizontally. So in candidate mode, we can put a 2 here, a 2 here, or a 2 here. Okay, and it can be any of those. Okay, so now what we've done, remember this is a beginner strategy, what we've done is we've scanned all of the horizontal blocks called ranks, and we've scanned all of the vertical blocks called stacks. Now what we should do is, if we're working methodically, is look and see if any row or any column or any block has just one cell left. So let's start with the blocks. I see here at the bottom there's a block here and it only has one cell left. So that is a very simple matter of just counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that would be the number 9. Is there any place else where I see one cell remaining? And yes, there is. Over here there's a block that has one cell remaining. So we can count 1, 2, 3. The number 3 is missing. Okay. And here we have a row with just one cell. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number 5 is missing. There we go. And then we can see, and now let's keep looking for a block. Oh, now we have this block. This block has just one cell remaining. 1, 2, 3. The number 3 is missing. There we go. So the 3 is missing. And now we can look here. We see a 3 on the left and a 3 on the right. Therefore, there has to be a 3 in the center, and it can't be in the top row, and it can't be in the bottom row because there's a 3 here and a 3 here. So working across, the only cell that 3 can be is over there. Okay? So now let's keep looking for rows or columns or blocks that have only one cell remaining. Do you see any? Here. Here's a row that has just one cell remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number 8 is missing. There we go. Now let's see if there are any more blocks, rows, or cells that are missing just one number. Okay, I see another column. This column here is missing just one number. You see this column? It's just missing that cell. So we can count 1, 2, 3, what's missing? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number 9 is missing. Okay, and now this block is just missing one number. And we can count 1, that's the 1. 1 is missing. Okay, so now we have this row is filled in, this block is filled in, this column is filled in. Is there any other row, column, or block that is missing just one number? Okay, so I don't see any more rows or columns or blocks that's missing just one number. I might be wrong, but I don't see it. Now there are a few ways of attacking. We filled in a lot of the puzzle, and there are a few ways we can go with this. We can start scanning back again horizontally and then vertically, or we could just use our eyeballs, and as you get more experience you will just see things. But since it's a beginner puzzle, and this is presumably one of the first times you're working on a puzzle, let's go back to scanning horizontally. So remember we did the number one, we started with the number 1, and before we didn't have enough 1s. Now we have a 1 here and a 1 here. So if this block has a 1, this block has a 1, then this block has to have a 1, right? And the bottom row has a 1, the middle row has a 1, so it has to be either here or here. Now it can't be here because this column already has a 1. So the only place a 1 can go is right over there. Okay? So we have the 1 taken care of. Now let's try the number 2. We have 3 2s. The number 3. All right, we have a 3 in the bottom. We have a 3 in the middle. So we need a 3 at the top. Number 4 we have. Number 5 we have. Number 6 we have. Number 7 we have. Number 8 is missing. And number 9 is missing. Okay, so number 8 we don't know yet. Oh, look at that. Number 8 we can eliminate because we had filled in this number 8. So now we can eliminate this 8. And if we eliminate that 8, then this has to be the only place the 8 can be. And therefore the 9 must be here. And now we've taken care of this entire top rank. Okay, let's work down horizontally to the middle rank. And we can start with the number 1. We have a 1 here. We don't have any other 1s. So let's try the number 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have a 4 here in this block, and we have a 4 here in this block. Now, can we eliminate the number 4 from any place in this block? And it looks like the only place the number 4 can go here. And let's see how I figured that out. Well, There's a 4 in the top row, and there's a 4 in the bottom row, so it has to go in this middle row, right? So just scanning horizontally, it can be in any of these 3 cells. But this cell is eliminated because there's a 4 in the column, and this cell is eliminated because there's a 4 in this column. So the 4 has to go in this column. And actually, we figured that out before when we did combination mode. So this is the only place the 4 can go. All right, I wonder if we have eliminated anything else. We had the 8 and the 9. There's no 8 and 9 this way and that way. We can't eliminate the 8 and the 2. We can eliminate the 8 actually here. You see here there's an 8. So since this cannot be an 8, this must be an 8. Okay, and since this is an 8, then therefore this can be a 2, or this can still be a 2, and this can be a 9, and this can be a 9. So we have 2, 9, and what other number is missing is the number 1. So the 1 can go, let's figure this out. The 1 is missing. We have a 1 here, and we have a 1 here. So since the 1 is missing from this block, and it can't be anywhere in this column, and it can't be anywhere in this column, so it must be either here or here, but it can't go here, right, because there's a 1 here, so it must be that the number 1 is here. And now that I've eliminated the number 2 as that choice over there, that means that this block has to be where the number 2 goes. And that means that this block must be where the number 9 goes. And now we've filled in this cell must be where the number 9 goes. And so now we filled in this entire block. Okay, looking up and down this column, we see there's only 1 cell remaining, so we can just do the simple counting method. 1, 2, 3. The number 3 is missing. And let's count this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The number 9 is missing. There we go. Okay, now working across here, we still don't know where the number 2 is. Here, or here, right? Or here, or here. Okay, so one of these is the number 2. Well, let's see what else is missing from this row. 1, 2, we don't know yet whether the 2 is over here or over here. 3, 4, 5. The number 5 is missing from this row. So the number 5 can either go here or here. But it can't go here because we already have a 5 in this column. So now we know that the 5 must be here. And since the 5 is over there, then this must be a 2. And since the 2 is over here, this cannot be a 2, right? So if this cannot be a 2, then this has to be a 2. Okay, and now we have 1 cell remaining. And what is missing from here is the number 1. And then fill it in. And congratulations! You've solved today's easy puzzle. Thank you. I hope you had fun. Follow along with me again next time. Bye for now.